How's it going? Coming back at you with some more deck ideas for our upcoming series 4 and 5 cards. Today, we're going to be focusing on the first of the two big bads, and that is Thanos here. 6 energy, 8 power card. At the start of your game, shuffle the 6 Infinity Stones into your deck. Thanos is going to bring an entirely new dynamic of gameplay to Marvel Snap, and that is drawing cards. 5 of these 6 Infinity Stones draw cards in some way, shape, or form. Let's run through what they do really quick, but we jump on into a few deck ideas that I'm excited to try this card out in. To start with, the Mind Stone. I think this is going to be the most important when it comes to enabling Thanos and assembling all 6 Infinity Stones over the course of the game. 1 energy, 1 power on reveal. Draw 2 other stones out of your deck. Up next, we have Reality Stone here, Scarlet Witch-esque effect. Transform the location you play it at into a new one at random, but then also draw a card. The Soul Stone, 1 energy, 1 power again, draws another card, has the ongoing effect enemy cards here have -1 power, so this stone can be up to a 5-point swing at the given location where you play it out. Up next, we have the Space Throne. The next turn, you can move 1 card at this location. Nice utility there. Again, drawing a card. Then we have the Time Stone, very Psylocke-esque. Next turn, you get +1 energy, draw a card. Really noteworthy that this is a 1 energy play, giving us an extra energy the following turn. This is the first time in Snap we'll be able to play 3 energy cards somewhat consistently on the second turn of the game. Seems like a big deal. And then finally, the payoff for all of this past the effects that they have, the Power Stone, 1 energy, 3 power, with the ongoing effect if you've played all 6 stones. Thanos has +10 power wherever he is, which brings our big bad's grand power total up to 18. Now, it looks like a lot of work to jump through to get an 18 power card on the board when you consider the Destroyer is 16 power on its own, but these stones are doing more than just enabling Thanos, right? They have utility. You know, Scarlet Witch is a card that's worth playing in a lot of decks. Reality Stone does that. Soul Stone provides a 5-point power swing for 1 resource. That's a big swing. Time Stone giving us acceleration, normally a 2 energy effect on something like Psylocke. That is here as well. The draw card on these really seems like it's hard to parse the power level of on the surface. Drawing a card in Marvel Snap is normally an incredibly powerful effect because the deck sizes are so small, but these cards all draw cards while they're also making your deck larger, which means they're kind of just making the deck size card neutral, even if you see more total cards over the course of the game. I think the one big thing that stands out in my mind about Thanos is that he demands a lot of board space. You know, you have to play out these 6 other pieces, and while they're providing utility, you do need to find space on the board for all of those, and at least the Power Stone has to be left standing at the end of it all. What I mean when I say has to be left standing, let's go ahead and dive on into our first deck I want to talk about here that I think is potentially really sweet. Up first, we have not only a Vorthos win, but potentially a very powerful archetype that Thanos slots eloquently into, and that is the Death Wave deck. For those not familiar, Wave here makes all cards in both players' hands cost 4 the following turn, and then Death discounts herself 1 for everything that's been destroyed over the course of the game, and her cost reduction applies after Wave's cost setting, meaning if you've blown up at least 2 things over the course of the game, Death will cost 2 or less, and all the other cards in your hand will cost 4, so you can play Death plus 1 other large play, in this case, hopefully Thanos. Thanos' stones give us lots of cheap things to put on the board to blow up, and most notably, the Power Stone only cares that all the stones were played over the course of the game, not that they're still in play, so long as we're careful not to break the Power Stone, Thanos is still going to get his bonus when we play him out on the final turn if we played all the stones first. This build is also choosing to leverage She-Hulk, like I talked about yesterday. If you wave on 5, leaving 2 energy up to soak, She-Hulk discounts herself by that 2, And if we've blown up at least 4 things, Death will make herself completely free. So the absolute insane last turn play this deck can make is Thanos for 18, Death for 12, and She-Hulk for 10, for adding a total of 40 extra power to the board on the final turn, plus whatever the things we already have out there are doing. Seems like this deck could be a lot of fun and create some massive swings if it can pull the combo off. Our next Thanos take here slots him into the kind of traditional Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur shell. I like this idea because Quinjet not only works well with Thanos, but it works fantastically with Moon Girl duplicating our hand. It also works really well with things like Hood, as well as 2 other new Pool 4 cards in Maria Hill and Agent Coulson that generate some randoms for us as well. Moon Girl potentially duplicating our potent stones sounds great as well. If you get 2 power stones into play, those are not only 1 energy 3 power cards, but they'll each give Thanos plus 10, meaning he can plop down 28 points worth of stats on the final turn of the game, which seems really, really impressive. If you see this list and you're not sure you want to invest resources in Hill and Coulson, I think those are definitely replacement level cards. You could play other things that are good with Collector and Dino, such as Sentinel or others that already exist. But I think as far as an optimal list goes, this is where I'd want to start trying out the most new cards possible. And now for our final Thanos brew, and the one I'm looking forward to trying the most here, we have Lockjaw Thanos. Finally, there will be rocks in Marvel Snap that will be happy for Lockjaw to be fetching for us. Not only can we play the Infinity Stones out into Lockjaw's path, drawing a card off them and swapping them for another card in our deck, but the Time Stone has direct synergy, letting us Lockjaw in the second turn of the game with our best draws, and the Space Stone lets us move a card from Lockjaw's path after it gets tucked back into our deck, cleaning up space for Lockjaw to play fetch even more frequently than it would before. You'll note that I am also playing She-Hulk in this build, and she's excellent with Time Stone for the same reason she's excellent with Psylocke. We had to do that Dirty 30 combo that we talked about in the She-Hulk video yesterday in this deck, where if we Psylocke or Time Stone on the 4th turn, it gives us 6 energy to pass with on the 5th turn, which enables us to play both She-Hulk and Infinite on the final turn of the game for a 30-point swing wherever we want. I'm also trying to leverage Falcon inside of this shell as a way to pick back up stones and clear things out of the Lockjaw path to draw more cards. I'm gonna be curious to see if that feels like it's a worthwhile addition or if it's just a little bit too much going on. But either way, this is definitely the Thanos deck I think I'm looking forward to trying the most. What did you think of my Thanos deck suggestions here? If you enjoyed them, make sure you tap that like button. If you have a different idea for how to leverage the big bad, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. If you're interested in hearing my ideas for Galactus, make sure to check back in about this same time tomorrow for a video covering those decks. And finally, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I post deck ideas, game theory stuff, highlights, game news updates, and all things Marvel Snap here 7 days a week, and I'd love to see you back again. As always, appreciate everybody that watches all the way through to the end of the videos like this. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks, and hopefully see you back again real soon.